Hey, what's up everybody? It's Felix here from Felix G Photo and HeyDon'tShoot.com, and it is 4:30 in the morning, headed towards the front gate where I'm going to meet up with my friend Manny Crump, and we're going to go out and attempt to shoot a sunrise photo. So I thought I would make a new video, this being a tutorial on how to shoot a beautiful sunrise photo. Now I guess the next thing we should talk about is what you're going to need for a sunrise photo.
The technique and tools I use for capturing a sunrise or sunset are pretty standard. Here you see my filter set from KF Concept, consisting of a 10-stop ND filter plus a gradient filter, which I'll talk about a little bit more here shortly. You'll want to try and keep as much dust as possible off of all of your elements, so bring along a nice cleaning kit with a dust cloth, sensor cleaner, and blower. The two lenses you see are the Zeiss 16-35 f4, which I used for the sunrise, and the Sony G24-105, which I used for the sunset photos you'll see later. And of course you'll need a tripod for your long exposures to eliminate as much vibration or movement as possible. And that's about all you'll need.
I also have in my case, my backpack here, a filter set. So it's my filter set from KF Concepts, which I've been really happy with. The price is great, right? I think I paid around $130 for the set. It's an ND filter, square 100 by 100 ND filter, and then a 100 by 150 gradient filter, and a really great set for the price. Unlike some of the cheaper filter sets that you see on Amazon, they look great, right? It's like a $50 complete filter set, but the filters are plastic. Not the case with KF Concepts. The time is now 5:32. The navigation app I use has us getting to the location at 5:57, and sunrise is set for 6:15, so we're going to be cutting it close. ND stands for neutral density. Basically, this is like sunglasses for your lens. So this is going to go in first. There are two slots here, so you have some flexibility with controlling the light. So this is basically sunglasses for your lens, which will allow you to take a longer exposure shot, which we want to do because we want to make the filter as well as the ND filter. Well, we want a long exposure, and the sky is much brighter than the buildings in the foreground. Is it not, Manny?
It is.
So the gradient filter will allow us to have the sky darker, and the tool here, which is my shutter release cable. Now, why do you want a shutter release cable? Well, you can use a shutter release cable, or you can use the timed shutter on here, because anytime you press the shutter button, your camera is going to shake a little bit, especially on, see how this is an okay tripod, but what we want to avoid in landscape photography is any sort of camera shake. Standard, maybe. Looks very blue. So they call this blue hour. You can see why.
Yeah.
Helps if it's plugged all the way in. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind when you're shooting landscape photos, especially like a sunrise or a sunset, the lighting conditions are constantly changing. So as the sun is coming up, it's getting brighter and brighter. Your settings, your shutter speed, all that stuff, you might have to change to adjust to the brightness of the scene. So we got here when it was still kind of dark. It's starting to brighten up. My settings are going to be different. When we first got out here, I was able to shoot a 10-second exposure, but I think by the time the sun comes up, it's going to be like a 1-second exposure. Okay, so it looks like we got our shot here. As you can see, the Beautiful sunrise behind me, gorgeous sunrise. We found a really nice spot on this lake. Been getting some good shots here, and looks like I'm ending up with a exposure time of 1/3 of a second and a aperture of f/22. Right, I'm in manual mode. Oh, look at that fountain just turned on over there. f/22, 1/3 of a second, ISO 100, and I think I got a pretty good shot. The sun's now, it's pretty bright now. I think I got a pretty good shot of that sun just coming up in between the buildings. I tried to use the rule of thirds, right? Makes your photos look a little more interesting. You're right, you got my tripod, shutter release cable, which I'll tell you all about. And that's our good sunrise photo here today. So hopefully you learned a little something today on how to shoot a sunrise picture. I think the key components are tripod, manual focus, right? f/22, you get that nice sunburst at f/22, the sun rays. The shutter release cable, so you're not pressing the shutter button. If you don't have a shutter release cable, then you can set your timer, the delay shutter, to like 2 seconds. So you press the shutter and that gives the camera a second, because you just don't want any camera shake because you're shooting a long exposure. What is that?
It's a video camera?
It's a camera. It's recording us right now.
Oh.
What's up, everybody? It's Felix here from HeyDon'tShoot.com and FelixGPhoto.com, and I'm here with my good friend Chun Jinu, and we are on Soyosan Mountain in South Korea. And look at this beautiful view behind us. This view is looking east, but we're going to continue to hike to the peak here and get a view looking west for the sunset. And I'm going to teach my good friend here, Chun, how to take a sunset photo using an ND filter, and just kind of some of the basics of taking a sunset photo, landscape photography type thing. Now, I started recording this video for YouTube a few weeks back with a sunrise photo, and to be quite honest, I wasn't really happy with how that photo turned out. So I wanted to do another video add-on to that to give you kind of a better idea of different techniques and different photo samples of sunrises and sunsets, and hopefully get a better result for you to take a look at. So we're up here on this beautiful mountain in South Korea, and we are going to continue to hike up and set up for the sunset photo. We got a little bit of time left, but just look at this view. The fall colors are amazing. Okay, first you need a shutter release cable. Then you will take the filters with you. All right, let's go. Well, actually, but the darker you go, the longer the exposure you can do. Circular polarizing filter is, remember, for bluer skies, more color. Now, my recommendation is going to be the polarizing filter.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because there are no clouds in the sky over there. One of the reasons you like to use an ND filter, an ND8 filter, leave it in for now, I'll tell you why. One of the reasons you want to use ND filter is because you can do much longer exposure, slower shutter speeds, and then the clouds will look like, you know, they're moving.
Oh.
You know, that nice, the motion blur of the clouds a little bit. You can do that with a darker. So I think in this case, because if you look at the horizon right now, it's very white.
Yeah.
Very, very, very white.
In this video, I cover the use of square filters, which are installed with the use of an adapter ring and filter mount, all of which are included in the set I purchased from KF Concept. But I also use and recommend circular filters. Circular filters serve the same function as square filters, except that they are mounted to the lens by screwing them directly onto the front of the lens. There are some minor differences between the two, and that's what I'm teaching Chun Jinu about in this scene. One of the advantages of circular filters is the availability of variable filters, meaning the density or darkness is adjustable just with a simple turn of the ring. This makes adjustment quick and convenient during changing lighting conditions. And while gradient filters are also available in the circular variety, you cannot adjust the horizon level on those. Another thing to consider is that you'll need to buy a circular filter for each different filter thread size for each lens you intend to use them with. Okay, how's it looking over here?
Really good.
Nice. What is your current
F-stop.
shutter speed? F-stop's probably not going to change. Are you F16, F18?
I'm 22.
F22 is
Yeah,
good.
I'm
ISO
getting-
100?
50.
ISO 50? Okay, that'll let you take a longer exposure.
Yeah.
All right. And then what is your current shutter speed?
1 out of 15.
1/15th?
1/15.
So as that sun starts to hit the horizon, that's going to start to go down.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
be longer.
It should be.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very nice.
Getting like already good pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Little
so
compass-
with the F22, once the sun hits the actual horizon, then you'll start to get this
The super blood.
the blur. Yeah, not the blur, but the sunburst we call it. You won't really get it until it hits the horizon.
Oh, okay.
So if there were clouds and the sun was hitting the edge of a cloud, then you could get it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
It's looking pretty good. I wish we had a few clouds in the sky, but overall, the weather is really nice. It's starting to cool off as the sun goes down. So, yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. Right? Hopefully, between this video, the sunset photo shoot, and then the sunrise I did a few weeks back, there's enough information for you out there to help you get a better sunrise photo and sunset photo. Landscape type, cityscape type. So, thanks for watching.